appreciate you all coming out.
Coach, what does it mean to you to have all the players and coaches coming back for this reunion?
Well, I'm sure other places in America do it. I don't know if anybody does it any cooler than what they have at KU for years with the reunions. Of course, we only do them every 5 years, and I think it means something to all those guys that do come back. I know at one point in time we had right at 200 or just south of 200 ex-players that were signed in to come back, and I know we've had some cancellations because of weather concerns. But it should be a fun day, and one where what's neat about it is it's not so much us seeing them back; it's them coming back and being with each other. To me, is what's really cool, because you don't get that opportunity, that often, and to hang out with guys that were certainly, lifetime friends and compadres during their time here, and nobody ever forgets those days.
Have you gotten back to guarding like you want to guard these last 3 games, and did you ever lose anything on that end?
Yeah, I thought against during our losing streak, I thought we were against Oklahoma State the first time we didn't guard them, and at least like we're capable of. TCU we didn't guard like we're capable, and certainly OU, they shot a high percentage for the most part against us. And yeah, I think we're definitely defending better. We really guarded Oklahoma State well, considering how poor we were on the offensive end. That was remarkable, and how poorly we shot it. That was remarkable to go down there and win. Basically it was it could have gone either way. Obviously, it is a last possession game, but that's our defense and rebounding certainly kept us in the game.
As unpleasant as that TCU game was to go through, do you look back on it and feel like some good came out of it and think you guys learned from it?
Not yet. I watched the tape. Of the 3 games we've lost in conference play, or the 4 games we lost for the season, there's only been one team that handled us from start to finish, and that was TCU. Michigan State, we got a 4-point lead late. Oklahoma State, we got a 4-point lead late. Oklahoma, we're down 1 with a minute and a half left. TCU was the only game we didn't have a chance to win, and so I look at it a little bit differently. That they probably played us as well as anybody's played us all year. Now, granted, we didn't play well, but they had a lot to do with that too.
You talk about Jamari. Looked like he had some good minutes coming along.
Jamari, as he's learning as he goes, and he did give us some great minutes the other day, and he was energetic and those sorts of things. We're better in half-court offense, although that was hard to see, with our veterans in the game. But as far as energy and running and jumping and doing things like that, he's definitely been an added boost for us. He's going to be a heck of a player. He just needs time. And I don't know if you noticed his hand's messed up, and his right hand, and we're thankful that he's playing, to be honest with you, because we thought when he hurt it that he may be out for a while. So he's definitely been a bonus for us.
I think he was on LeBron Nash for a stretch there. Does he have a pretty high ceiling as a defender?
I think Jamari could be a great defender. He's not tall though. I'd like to say he's 6'8", but you guys know he's not. And so he's a shorter inside player, but like LeBron, that would be a good matchup size-wise for him to go against. There's not that many prototypical NBA-type 4 men out there, that are 6'9" or 6'10", and can post or play away from the basket. But he's usually Jeff's backup, so he's having to guard the other team's 5 majority of the time. And he's done a pretty admirable job of it.
Is it sprained thumb?
Yeah, sprained thumb. Yes.
What does a shot like Nadir makes do for his confidence the rest of the season, Coach?
Well, I hope it boosted. He wasn't that happy after the game because he knows that there were some things he could have done differently to maybe not put us in that position. We watched tape yesterday, and offensively, we just over and over and over, and we weren't that as organized as we should be, and the sound definitely got to us at noise level, not be able to communicate well, things like that we got to be better at. It really falls on the guards, more than anybody else. But Ben's shot against Iowa State here was huge shot. Hey, he just made a play where he had to bounce it, he had to beat a guy, you're talking about a 5'10" kid throwing a jump hook. You know, that's not the exact shot we practice every day. So, I mean, it was as big a play as anybody's made this year for us.
What did you think of the job Tharp did after Johnson fouled out?
I thought he did good. You know, our team won, so that's that. So he did good. You know, we didn't make any shots, and but he did fine. I thought defensively Nadir was pretty good for the most part. He let Forte get loose twice, and when scout report defense, you don't do what he did, and it ended up costing us 5 points, and he knows that. But I thought he did a good job.
When you were looking at Nadir coming out of high school, were the intangibles with him, the attitude and all of that kind of stuff, was that as big a draw as maybe his
Talent?
Yeah.
I thought the biggest thing Nadir had going for him were his intangibles. I mean, everybody likes him, and he's funny. You know, he makes people feel at ease. He showed up on his visit in a tie. You know, nobody does that. You know, we get guys out of a hoodie. You know, we're thinking they're really dressing up, and you know, he's a cool kid. You know, in that regard, but it's and people like him. They gravitate to him. But I didn't think last year's personality showed the way I wanted to, nor the way he wanted to. You know, but this year he's come so much more into his own, feeling more comfortable.
Coach, a couple of your former players were traded this week. Marcus to the Suns and T-Rob went to the Rockets. Were you surprised that they dealt T-Rob Sacramento before really giving him a fair shake?
I don't have any idea. I haven't talked to their general manager or their coaches. I know this: Thomas is happy. So you know, he's in Houston. He's happy. I think it's great. You know, and he gets to go to a team that has a chance to make the playoffs. I think Houston right now is an 8th place team, if I'm not mistaken. Fesco probably knows that, but I'm happy for Thomas, and I'm really happy for the Twins. You know, as Marcus has had a good year, and Markeith last year, of course, was exceptional. Markeith finished 6th in Rookie of the Year last year, but they'll both play better now that they're together. And so you watch. Keith's is going to be elevated, his production per minute, and so will Marcus's. And hopefully they'll get a chance to play together some, because I don't think they're in the playoff hunt at all. But I was happy for him. I'm happy as probably for Angel. You know, now she can save herself some money and only need one place to live as opposed to 2.
You're closing in on 500 wins, and then with everybody coming back, what does it feel like just being a big part of the legacy of this school?
You know, I don't see what we've done as being a huge part of the legacy of the school. When I think of KU basketball, and it's the way it should be over time, I think of Dr. Naismith and I think of Fog Allen, period. I mean, I really do. I know I guess there's been 6 coaches after Dr. Allen, if I'm not mistaken, but that's the legacy of our school. I mean, of course, Coach Owens and Coach Harp had success here, and Larry had great success in a short amount of time, and Roy experienced great success here, and we've done pretty well since we've been here. But still, though, this is far bigger than any modern day coach. You know, we're talking about the history of the game that we all love, and you know, when I think of Chicago Bears football, I don't think of Ditka. You know, I think of George Halas, and when you think of, you know, the Cowboys, you know, you think of Tom Landry, and they won Super Bowls after him, and so there's been a huge part. There's been guys that have experienced success here, all that stuff, but when you think about the coaches, you should think about 2. When you think about players, you should think about them all. When you talk about the history and the legacy of this place.
But Dr. Naismith had a losing record.
Yeah, and if people get on my butt too much, I'll remind them of that. So. But he did beat Topeka YMCA.
You were at Oklahoma State at the time, but do you have any specific memories of that '88 championship team?
Yeah, you know, when all teams go through stuff, but Gary can go back and check this out, but KU was really, and Bob, you probably remember, they were really mid-season.
12-8.
12-8. And I don't know what their record was coming to Stillwater, but they were coming to Stillwater, and they weren't very good yet. And they hadn't shot the ball well, and they go 6 of 6, I think, for the game from 3. I believe that's right. And they beat us in an unbelievable game. And from there, they just kind of took off. So I do remember that we certainly contributed to KU's success that year. And then we had the opportunity to play KU on Danny's senior night. And band was in tuxedos. I think the 3 officials were in tuxedos. I mean, it was one of, we had no chance before the game started. And then, of course, that's when the Archie Marshall deal occurred at the end. And that was great, because Archie's he'll be the one guy. He'll be the one guy more than anybody else that will say "what if" about his career, because it could have been so special from a NBA perspective and all that stuff if he hadn't tore his 2 ACLs. But yeah, the '88 team was, and then I remember going to see Coach Brown Sunday night before Monday's game against Oklahoma in Kansas City, and you know, we're up there, and I just thought it was really cool. He wanted to know how we broke the press against Oklahoma. And I'm like, well, you want to ask me, but you know, I know for a fact you're not going to listen. So because he had a 6'11" guy he could throw it into and break it that way. But it was nice to be. I wasn't a part of it, but it was nice to at least felt somewhat included because of my past history with Coach.
Is there something about TCU that's a bad matchup for you?
I think the way that they played us the first time was absolutely perfect. They didn't give angles. They cut off transition. They did a lot of things that was very good. That you know, has given us some problems. You know, I watched the tape. They whipped us. I mean, they beat us from start to finish. Now, regardless of our play, they beat us from start to finish, and no other team this year that has played us has been able to do that. And they controlled it the entire time. I think we cut to 4 and missed an uncontested 3 was the closest we got there with about 4 minutes left. But they definitely have our respect.